had a conversation about this before, some of the arbitrary rules depending on what state you're in. And some business owners are just totally fed up with it. And now they're defying their state orders. And we have an example of this. Roll tape.
My business is being targeted. There's plenty of businesses that are also defying shutdown orders and going against what Governor Murphy says. But he has made it very clear that he is out to ruin us.
Bruce, what's your reaction to that?
Well, my reaction is like, he's not the only one. There's tens and hundreds of thousands of folks out there that had to look, it's sink or swim. Do I listen to this rule, or do I go out and govern myself accordingly, like this gentleman in New Jersey with the gym? He just made a point. There's other folks that are opening and defying because they know what to do. They know how to wash and clean. But most of all, they don't realize what these people have on the hook. They got to pay rent. They got to pay the mortgage. And by the way, the retail owner who owns the shopping center, he or she is on the hook for the mortgage to the bank. So if the bank is not working with them and they're not being able to pay rent, everyone loses, everyone crashes. So they have got to put the trust back into us, the small business. Let us govern ourselves accordingly.
Yeah, and these small business owners, especially the ones that have been forced to shut down, are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Are they going to get fined? Will they go to jail? As you pointed out, they have rent to pay, and then the people who own the buildings want to collect that rent. And then they see some of the rules, and they don't understand that if they're following CDC guidelines and the social distancing and keeping things clean, why they can't stay open. So when you're a business owner, I mean, who do you take that complaint to?
Well, you really take it to each other and other business colleagues and try to get a compilation of everyone coming together and sticking together on some of these crazy initiatives. I mean, my God, how do you ban a dentist who has a person who works up front, a hygienist, and the doctor works in the back? We're talking about one or two or three, customers that come in every other hour in the hour. And then a lot of those are shut down or have ordinances where they can't open. Whereas you go down the street to a big, I won't mention names, bigger grocery store conglomerates and other big chains, it's like free for all. You can't even find a parking lot, Stephanie. They're wall to wall with people with masks, some with half masks on, some with bandanas on, and they're as business as usual. Why the small business is suffocating right around the corner. This is the lunacy. This is the craziness that's going on. This is what we need. We got to get our common sense back to the small business. Let us make the decision. We know what to do. We're on the hook.
Bruce, your business is still open, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
okay. Now, if you were forced to shut down, do you think you would defy your state's orders? Would you recommend that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, listen, look, they weren't there when I started my business. They weren't there. They don't know my balance sheet. They don't know my cleaning crew. They don't know the safeguards in terms of how I keep everything clean, the employees clean, and how I keep my whole environment clean through social distancing. So how can you mandate something when you don't know nothing about my business or know nothing about what's going on? How dare you tell me that I don't know how to govern myself accordingly? So this is the pushback where we got to get the common sense back. We the people, by the people, not big government coming in and terrorizing and crashing these small businesses. I don't even see how some of them are going to be able to survive, Stephanie. It's like this dominoing effect, like we said early in the segment. The mortgage has to be paid to the bank by the person who owns the building. The renter has to pay the landlord, who has to pay the bank in order the bank to sustain the building. So when all those stop, then you start crumbling, and all of a sudden you lose everything, and then you do a disservice for your community. You create blighted areas, you create unemployment, and you create crime, and everyone just totally just running around, just confused. So this is something we've got to get a hold of, the common sense, Stephanie.
All good points, Bruce. We're going to have to leave it here. Thanks for joining us.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.